What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool, man. So, Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit encountered an ex-follower of his at USC College, and the guy pretty much confronted Myron Gaines for all of the evil um, advice that he gives to men over there on the Fresh and Fit podcast. I'm going to let you all check out this clip, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary. But stick around because I'm definitely going somewhere with it. Now, I may stop and give my commentary as the video plays, or I may let the video play and give my commentary at the end. Who knows? But without further ado, let's dive into it. Check it out.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you remember me at all?
No.
Okay. So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women,
Yeah.
Okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it. But I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Well, I've talked about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say $100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right? Sexual body count.
Oh, Lord.
All right. And then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them? So I think...
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start... What happened specifically?
Well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void. Mm-hmm. There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it. Sure. And I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah. So would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast. Okay. And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here. Yeah. And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife. Because the thing is, right?
Well, I don't need that. I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that you were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly you learned a skill set on how to become attractive and get women. And then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like. And that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now, look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So Failures are good. They're good.
Yeah, failures, excuse me, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good. But there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we are warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it.
Sure.
And what you were causing me to do was sin against myself. And that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take personal responsibility, bro, because here's the reality.
No, I do, 100%.
Yeah, so
very publicly, I have in front of over 40,000 people. I've done that.
Yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? If I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, how to load the magazine in properly, all that. If I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously, you wanted to go toward a sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is, I armed you with the tools to become an attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad. No,
you didn't arm me with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
Oh, okay. Now it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing to be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions. If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded, obviously I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is, I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I just taught you what to do.
Exactly. It's on me 100%. I'm not placing blame on you. But what I'm telling you, from someone that listens to you, I'm trying to let you know what happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing, too. Like, now you're operating with 20/20 hindsight. You went through it. You experienced it.
That's true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work. Because let's be honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do they need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, here's the thing. Finding a God-fearing woman in today's day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
And so did everyone in my whole family. So it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's anecdotal from your perspective. But again, you learned the skill set. You were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot, and you're trying to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love them, and I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do for you.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife and have been able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you, but I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So you all heard that. So basically, the guy was calling out Myron Gaines for giving all of the demonic advice to men over there on the Fresh and Fit podcast. All right. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Over there on the Fresh and Fit podcast, all they do is bash women, right? They use a bunch of profanity towards women, right? Myron Gaines is a diehard racist, right? Against black people and other people. All they do is put down people over there on the Fresh and Fit podcast. They bring women on there to shame them and disrespect them and call them names, etc. I don't see what anybody could learn from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Listen, all of that stuff they over there talking about is nothing but worldly stuff. All right. And if you want to follow the devil, if you want to follow the world, then fine. Go listen to Myron Gaines of Fresh and Fit, okay? But if you're somebody who wants to follow Christ and actually develop a real relationship with some substance, then Myron Gaines is not the person to follow. Myron Gaines gives advice to people who are interested in having sex with a bunch of women, okay? Sleeping around, who are interested in being racist, okay? He gives advice to people who are interested in doing immoral things. Okay, sleep with as many women, do this, get laid, disrespect women, cuss them out, do this. Everything he over there talking about, man, is for people who have no relationship with God. But if you're serious about your walk with God, and you want a relationship with Christ, Myron Gaines is not the person that you should be following and getting advice from. Okay, all of these red pill dudes putting out all of this information, telling you how to sleep with women and how to do all that. Listen, man, it's nothing but manipulation, nothing but witchcraft, nothing but demonic advice and demonic energy and demonic sources coming from over there. All right. And you got a lot of dudes, listen, following Myron Gaines and listening to his advice to how to sleep with a bunch of women and lay down with a bunch of women and be racist. Like at the end of your life, what is that going to do? What has following Myron Gaines actually done for you? What has it contributed to besides destroying your soul from sleeping with a bunch of women? Besides from destroying yourself from probably catching STDs, which is what Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit and all of those guys over there don't tell you about. They don't tell you about the dark side of running around trying to get laid and sleeping with a bunch of women and all of that. Writing books to tell you how to be some sort of ladies' man. Like, dude, all that stuff means nothing. That stuff is going to fade. Okay? All of that stuff is going to fade. At the end of your life, oh, what are you going to tell your kids? What are you going to tell your grandkids? I listened to Myron Gaines, who was a diehard racist and who told me how to sleep around with a bunch of harlots, right? That's all you did. That's all you did. That's all you got. That's all you got to tell your family and your kids and the generation that's coming after you, right? If you are serious about your life and you are serious about your walk with Christ, and you want to have a relationship with God, stop listening to Myron Gaines. Now, listen, I'm only talking to people who are serious about their walk with God and who want to have a relationship with Christ. All right? If you are Myron Gaines follower and you are a part of that cult and you have sworn allegiance to that, then hey, that's your life. Do what you do. But if you have an interest in coming out of that, then you need to get up from under Myron Gaines because he's leading you one place, and that's to hell. And he's leading you astray from God. All right? And this Christian brother just called that out. He said, I read your book. I did what you told me to do, and it did nothing but destroyed me mentally. I was at war with myself. I was at war with my flesh. I tried to sleep around with a bunch of women. He said it wasn't until I started to follow God, until I started to follow Christ, that I became a happy man. Okay? That's what that brother said, man. So, hey, follow Christ, man. All right? And stop following these demonic YouTubers that's trying to teach you how to sleep around. Okay? Because all it's doing is destroying yourself and casting you down to damnation. And with that being said, I'm gone, man. Peace.